Call of Duty Finest Hour is one of those games that I believe no one has even heard of. Like, have you even heard of this game? Call of Duty Finest Hour for the Nintendo GameCube? Now, yes, it did release for the PlayStation 2 as well, but I'm talking about the GameCube version specifically. No one has played this version because you might not even knew it existed. Even if you played the PlayStation 2 version, there's a good shot you had no clue that was also available on the GameCube. But many moons ago, when I was a young little lad, I was walking around my local GameStop at the time, and I saw a used copy of Call of Duty Finest Hour for the GameCube. Like, I was so shocked. Call of Duty anything for the GameCube? I didn't know there was such a game for such a console, because the Nintendo GameCube, well, if you know anything about Nintendo, they're not really a Call of Duty type console. Like, for example, when was the last time a Call of Duty game released on a Nintendo console? Probably the Nintendo Wii U almost over a decade ago. And there's a reason for that. Not even necessarily because it's a bad game or would play bad, especially back in the day on the GameCube. It didn't play that bad. Like, here's a picture of the GameCube controller, just in case if you never saw one. It does look a little weird, I'm not gonna hold you, especially compared to like today's day and age, but there is 2 joysticks and 2 trigger buttons and a Z bumper button. If I remember correctly, I think we picked up this game like a used copy at GameStop back in the day for like 10 or 15 bucks, something like that. And this game was rated teen for teen, which is probably one of the reasons why my parents even allowed me to play this game at the time, because I was so young. I generally don't remember how young I was, but I remember I was so young to the point that my parents, they definitely didn't want me to play games like GTA or anything like that. But I do remember vividly playing this game, going through the whole campaign, and of course enjoying it. Like, as a young little lad having like the only shooter game. Like, I don't think I even had an Xbox 360 yet, so I just had like the GameCube in the original Xbox. That was my gaming setup at the time. And yes, there was shooters on the original Xbox like Halo, Halo 2, Max Payne. I think there's a game called Bullet or something I never played that was a first-person shooter as well. None of those games I had for the Xbox. All I had was very kid-friendly, like sports games or something of that nature. Which, nothing wrong with that, you know, I was still very grateful and happy to have any games to play, but I was also extremely happy to finally have a shooting game to play. And on the GameCube, it was an experience, to say the least. Did it look that much worse than the PlayStation 2 version? Probably not. Did I even know there was a PlayStation 2 version? At the time, I thought it was a GameCube exclusive. Now, the actual gameplay was not that memorable, I'm not gonna lie. It's just any old school classic Call of Duty game. If you played any of the first Call of Duties, I'm pretty sure it plays exactly like this. Like Call of Duty Classic, the OG one, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3. If you played any of them, you didn't really miss out on anything from not playing this game. This isn't a game that I'm trying to, you know, convince you to play. And that's definitely not what I'm doing. I don't think you really missed anything. I don't think you would have that good of a time playing this game in the big 2.6, the 2026. Especially if you played the newer age Call of Duty and never played the older age. But if you're an older pal who has played the classic Call of Duties, maybe you would, especially if you never experienced this one, and if you never even knew it existed. I genuinely want to know, how rare and obscure is this game? Like, let me know in the comments, have you ever heard of this game before you saw this thumbnail or clicked on this video? Have you ever heard of the other Call of Duty that I talked about on the video on screen right now? Just click it to go watch it.